Hello and welcome to this live chat session. Loud Noise, 89, Fisha Asable, Zabi, Yunus Gabre, Tikle Birhan Berhe, Daniel Vienne, Hinok, Gebre Selassie. Thank you for joining all of you. Yunus Ibrahim, Iliana Adane, Ilyas Aval, Mirhavi Gautam, Yusuf Tisfa Michael. Thank you all of you for joining. Biniam Sage, Chapier Liner, Johannes Mesambre, Araya Yusuf, Gachu, Gabi Jeho, Turbo 911, Jackie 97, Keenman Philo. Keenman Philo, I haven't seen you much in previous live chat sessions. To Ms. Gi, Ms. Gabo, every questions need answers is the name of someone. Aran HT, Yarid, Liol, CA. Thank you for joining all of you. I'm sorry if I cannot, if I'm missing some names. I'm trying to read all of you. Ashi Nafi Girme, Ashi Nafi Hele, Emmanuel, CA, Yarid, thank you for joining. Thank you all of you. Esmirom, Ricardo Findale, Chapier, Solomon. Solomon says, since I graduated from Makele, I came to Fragile Ethiopian. You are my favorite #1 military viewer. Thank you, Solomon. Ethiopian Empire says, Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam, Ethiopian Empire. Biniam says, how high is news today? We'll talk about the news in coming minutes. Hashinga, Wall, Majok, Musi Moss, one of my regular viewers. King, Tigray, Sefaldat, Fasiha. Well, since yesterday, we have been hearing about US intervention to resolve this conflict. Diplomatic intervention, not military intervention. I have uploaded 3 videos so far. Joe Biden, US President, has signed an executive order. He is trying to force all sides to sit for talks. It's a very interesting development. I mean, I have a question for you. I mean, US can certainly impose sanctions in case of human rights abuses in Tigray. It can force delivery of aid as well, but can it force the warring parties to sit for talks? I mean, according to international law as well, US cannot force anyone to sit for talks. It can only impose sanctions. And Ethiopian government is in no mood to start talks now. Ethiopian government believes it has an advantage now. It has piled up some weapons in coming days. It's going to start another offensive on TDF. Why would it sit down for talks now? Though I did a video a few hours ago, I told you in that video that Ethiopian government right now have an advantage, but it does not want to start talks. Ababe says, Sajid, B, continue, you are at good position. Thank you, Ababe. Hagdo says, why you mention the plan? I think you are asking that why do I analyze their planning, military objectives. Well, I don't disclose their plans. It's not that someone is briefing me that what they're going to do. No, that's purely my own analysis based on experience of covering this war. I informed you about what's going to happen. And viewers, these plans are not secret. I mean, TDF's plan is not a secret. Ethiopian National Defense Force is extensively monitoring movements of TDF. Same is the case with ENDF plans, no secret for TDF. They are monitoring each other's plans. We discuss those plans. We analyze those plans. Sajid, you said ENDF is under control of Mesambre. That was lie. Let me clarify. Johannes Samere, what I said about Mesambre Fund. Let me clarify it. TDF was close to Gondar. It was on the road, Debark road. It was between Debark road. It collaborated with the Kieman fighters as well. TDF wanted to cut off Gondar, Western Tigray roads. The planning could not work. TDF had to retreat from Debark in eastern direction towards Sikota. Now TDF is not close to Debark, Zarima and Gondar along this road. It's in eastern direction towards Sikota. I mean to say Mesambre front. I'm not talking about Mesambre, the border area on Tigray Amhara border. TDF is somewhere behind Zarima. Yes, you're right. It's somewhere behind Zarima towards the Arke site. It's not positioned to the west of Zarima. That is what I have learned. Please promote peace. Breakfast for dinner says. Yes, we should all promote peace. Believe me, viewers, I receive so many videos, pictures, which are very graphic, which will promote hate. I do not share those pictures, videos. I discuss them briefly, don't share them. And the purpose of creating these videos is to bring people together, to make them talk. So you people who have joined this session, all of you not from Tigray or Amhara, you are from different groups. That is the success of this channel, viewers, that it has tried to bring all the groups together. So we should continue, each of us in our own capacity, to bring people together. Someone is saying, is Amhara militia on the back foot? They're not on the back foot. In Volo, they haven't been successful so far. In Gondar, they managed to push TDF back from several places. But in Volo, you can say, I think there is not presence of Fano militias in Volo, not heavy presence of. Fano is basically in Gondar, and there we saw that Fano delivered and TDF had to withdraw from Debre Tabor, from Debark fronts. In Volo, there is not very heavy presence of Fanos. Yes, they are here, but not as much as they are in Gondar. In Volo, yes, they have not been successful so far. TDF is clinging on to its positions in Volo. Volo is proving to be a difficult front for Amhara forces, ENDF. Simon asks, do you think Abiy will accept negotiations? No, I don't think so. Abiy will not accept negotiations now because why won't he accept negotiations? Reason? Well, I think that PM Abiy and his government sees itself in a position of advantage now. And they say that Western Tigray is still under Amhara control. TDF could not take control of strategic areas in Amhara, and they can strike more blows to TDF in coming days after the start of dry season. That is why I don't think PM Abiy and his government would go for talks now. Relaxation asks, do you think we'll see a complete withdrawal of TDF from Amhara in coming days? Someone is asking, will TDF withdraw from Amhara in coming days? No. It will only withdraw if there are negotiations, if there is a solution to this conflict. Otherwise, TDF will keep its presence in Amhara region until and unless Western Tigray is under Amhara control. TDF is putting pressure upon Amhara region because it wants Amhara, Sagede, Volca. It wants a corridor with Sudan. TDF could not penetrate that area. That is why it will keep on its attacks in Amhara. Ashinaf is asking, can TDF reach Addis Zaman city? Very difficult. It's a very difficult front. In order to reach Addis Zaman, it will have to capture Ibnath. And to reach Ibnath is an uphill task. TDF is trying, it's working on Addis Zaman. But if Addis Zaman fell, it means that Gondar Bahida road would be under TDF. It's very difficult, but TDF is reportedly pursuing this strategy. Turbo says, if US imposes sanctions on Ethiopia, Tigray won't get aid. No. US is making it clear that sanctions won't hurt humanitarian assistance, because US aid is the largest provider of aid to Tigray. So America is playing a key role in sending aid to Tigray, and this aid won't be disturbed. Mibrate Berheo, hello Sajid, hello Mibrate. Daniel, do you think all parties will respect US warning? I don't think so. Especially Ethiopian government will not go for talks. You have seen their statement yesterday. It was a very strong statement. Ethiopian government is calling into question the role of US in this conflict. It's making US controversial. Ethiopian government is not in the mood to start talks. Alimar says, why are you always disturbing Ethiopians by your false news? You're a member of junta. Well, it's your opinion. I always say that I report from both sides without any bias. But I don't know why you find me pro-TPL. Hello Sajid, why can't TDF advance towards Volca? Volca, Amhara, Sagede have been heavily manned by Eritrean forces, Ethiopian National Defense Forces, Amhara forces, land mines planted as well, heavy weaponry. Eritrean forces have been seen there with tanks, artillery, and they have managed to defend it. We'll have to admit that Eritreans, Amhara forces, they did not allow TDF to enter Amhara Volca. Yes, they have kept TDF at a distance from Western Tigray. Leo says, Sajid, you're doing a great job. Do not worry about those hateful people. Hinok said, do you know how much weapon was purchased by ENDF? We don't have exact information, but I did a video on that. I told you that in August, Ethiopia purchased weapons from Turkey worth 57 million US. Then we have seen several flights, cargo flights between Ethiopia and Iran, Ethiopia and UAE. And the flights landed at Harar Meda, which is Ethiopian Air Force Base in Romeo. So people say that Ethiopia is purchasing weapons from Iran and UAE as well. No evidence so far, but most sources which monitor such developments, they say that Ethiopia has purchased some weaponry from Turkey, Iran, and UAE. And North Korea as well. Keen man, why did not TPLF report the famine in Tigray after they controlled Mekelle? They've been talking about famine even before they controlled Mekelle. How do you see the refusal to talk by Abiy intellectually? It's a political decision. If Abiy does not want to talk, it means he wants to weaken TPLF more. Abiy Assayas, they still see TDF as a threat. Is OLA controlling Romeo? No, OLA is not controlling Romeo. It's in just parts of Romeo. OLA is advanced, it picks up pace, it slows down. OLA was trying to take control of Negali Borana in southern Romeo, it could not. OLA has limited reach, viewers. It can only make a difference if TDF goes past Dasi. If TDF goes past Dasi, then we could see TDF OLA making a formidable military alliance. So far, OLA in Romeo and TDF in Amhara, and OLA is not making a huge impact on the ongoing war in Amhara. And in Romeo as well, they're in control of some areas, but still they haven't taken strategically important towns and roads in Romeo. Zion says, we have seen Abiy celebrating in Zarima. Is it a new front? We talked about that. Zarima is on Dabat front. Gondar, to the east of Gondar, there is Dabat, then Debark, then Zarima, then Adiarke. So this is the same front, Gondar front, North Gondar front. Abiy, Zarima is under Amhara control. We have discussed that. Zarima, Debark, Dabat, these are under ENDF. So that is why Abiy was on this front. Hawal says, is there any possibility of military measures by US on RRT? No, I don't think so. US is not going to take any military measures. US is just out of Afghanistan, you saw. They faced humiliation there when they withdrew. They won't start military intervention here in the Horn now, I think. Gomida, hi Sajid, do you think a war take long time? If long time, someone is asking about TDF's Air Force capabilities. TDF does not have any air power, it does not have drones, it does not have fighter jets, bombers, but it does have some anti-aircraft weaponry like anti-aircraft missiles called manpads, then Zu-23-2 and anti-aircraft weapons. So TDF has anti-aircraft weapons, no air power. Possibility, don't see the possibility because Tigray is under siege. How will TDF obtain air power? How will drones, how will fighter jets enter Tigray? Tigray is under siege on all sides. That is why I don't see the possibility of Tigray Defense Force possessing or gaining air power. Someone is asking, any chance of Tigray leaving Ethiopia? Well, TDF and TPLF, they can talk about independence after they take control of Western Tigray, if they took, it would be difficult for Tigray to survive without any friend, any neighbor. If Tigray announces independence today, it means it will be encircled on all sides. To the east, Afar, to the west, Amhara, to the south, Amhara, to the north, Eritrea. So how can Tigray survive with states and countries on all its sides which are hostile to Tigray? Tigray needs a corridor with Sudan. Then it might happen. Tigray might announce independence. We have seen statements from Getachew, Debrecen, that they'll hold a referendum in Tigray. The referendum will decide the future of Tigray. Amman is saying, Sajid, what do you think TDF should do next? Then you will say that you are disclosing their plans. TDF should not go for Gondar, I think. It should go for Dasi. It should focus on Western Tigray from Shire side. Gondar is a difficult front. Here TDF will suffer losses. It should try to move towards Dasi, then towards Romeo Special Zone, North Chua, make alliance with OLA here. Then Western Tigray towards Sumera Volca from Shire side. Gondar is proving to be a difficult front for TDF. Someone is asking about Ethiopian map on Wikipedia. I haven't seen that. I'll have a look at that. What should ENDF do? Yes. What should ENDF do? Well, ENDF, firstly, it should send its forces in BG, in Romeo, because from these two states, groups aligned with TDF are trying to move towards Amhara border. And ENDF Amhara forces are already in Romeo, in BG, firstly. Secondly, ENDF should now advance from Afar side. If Afar forces and ENDF join hands and they start advancing from eastern side towards Kobo, towards Voldia, TDF could be under tremendous pressure. That depends upon Afar. Will Afar be part of the war in Amhara or not? Yishak is saying, do you think Abiy is mature enough to lead Ethiopia? Well, Abiy has been elected by Ethiopians. He got votes. Now, whether he is mature or not, he'll lead Ethiopia for the next term. And people are with him. I mean, there are millions of Ethiopians behind him. Do you think Ethiopia will be like Yugoslavia? We have talked about that in several previous videos. Ethiopia is becoming weak, its foundations are being shattered. If Tigray becomes independent, we could see more states in Ethiopia in the Horn of Africa. Because creation of a state along ethnic lines in Ethiopia will lead to creation of more states. Tigray one state, Oromia another, Somali another. So we could see disintegration. So that just depends how Ethiopian government handles this conflict. Economic situation after 10 months of war. Nitin, very important remark by Nitin that no one is talking about Ethiopian economy. Yes, Ethiopian economy is under stress. Those who are living in Ethiopia, they know that people are facing difficulties. Inflation is on the rise. And it is becoming difficult for Ethiopian government to sustain this war. But they're doing that because they believe that now they're in a position to strike a decisive blow to TPLF. That is why they're doing that. Will Ethiopia invade Sudan after TPLF? Don't know, but Ethiopia is not going to invade Sudan right now. Do you think TDF has missiles, rockets? Yes, TDF has missiles. Missile launchers or not? We don't know. TDF has shown missiles, long range missiles. Do they have launchers as well, which are required to fire missiles? Don't know, but I think Tigray Defense Force has this capacity because when ENDF withdrew from Mekelle, TDF got some missiles and missile launchers too. They have this capability, missiles and long-range rockets. Will ONLF join the war? I don't think so. ONLF isn't based in Somali region. It fought for several years. Then it decided to start a political struggle. It participated in elections June 21st, but yesterday it announced the boycott of the upcoming election due to be held on the 30th of September. But ONLF is not taking up arms. It's still going for political struggle. Are you known pro-Abiy? Tafire says, I am known pro-Abiy and a known pro-TPLF. Why did ENDF use anti-aircraft if TPLF does not have air power? Some anti-aircraft weaponry has dual role, like Zu-23 guns. They have dual purpose. You can use them against aircrafts and against and on surface as well. So they have dual role, these Zu-23s. Can TDF missiles reach Harar Meda airbase? Don't know about that. But TDF does have missiles, long-range rockets. Do you think coming dry season, ENDF and RRTN threatening to launch offensive on TDF real? Some experts say that in the dry season, upcoming dry season, ENDF and Amhara forces will launch a full-scale offensive on Tigray. My understanding is that ENDF Amhara forces could launch surgical strikes on Tigray. They'll focus on Amhara, they'll focus on TDF positions in Amhara. Because if they start an all-out offensive on Tigray, once again they'll be caught up there. And it will be difficult for them to withdraw from Tigray. I don't see the possibility of full-scale offensive on Tigray. I think new offensive will focus on Amhara with limited airstrikes on Tigray. Is that true OLF is near Dassi? No, I haven't heard of OLA coming close to Dassi. Who is supplying diesel to Tigray? Tigray had its reserves, and when Ethiopian government stopped supplies, Tigray kept that reserve stored. Tigray is not using this reserve, it's being used for military purpose. A limited number of diesel tankers are being allowed in Tigray, so no one is supplying Tigray with diesel. Tigray had its reserves. Can you speak about lost UN trucks? I have tried to explain this situation. These were not UN trucks. I clarified it, viewers, that UN does not have its trucks. Wherever its aid agencies go, they hire locals. They hire local transport, local trucks. Here in Ethiopia, aid agencies hired local transport, mostly from Tigray, to transport supplies from afar to Tigray. But transporters faced so much harassment and difficulty that they are refusing to return to afar. Most of them were from Tigray. Viewers, if you are a transporter, you have a truck, and you don't know what will happen along the road, and how many days will it take for you to cross that area afar. Will you go there? You won't go there, because you know that your truck can be in danger. It can be set on fire, and you might take much more time. So that is why transporters are not ready to travel along a far Tigray road. And trucks which have not returned, they are mostly from transporters of Tigray. Do you think can foreign forces take part like they did in Syria? I don't see the possibility of foreign forces intervening here. Russia, China says it's Ethiopia's internal problem. We have seen that. US says no military intervention, will put sanctions in place. So no one is going to militarily intervene here. Do you think TDF will cut Ethiopia-Djibouti road? No likelihood. Now TDF is nowhere close to this road now. Why can't Amharas fight alone, Sajid? This war has federal government and regional governments on one side and Tigray on the other side. All of them have joined hands. It would be difficult for them to fight alone. Yes, you're right that it would be difficult for Amhara forces to take on Tigray alone. Someone is again questioning about trucks. Because I have tried to verify this information. In fact, I got in touch with some people on the ground, some transporters as well, and some neutral sources. I wouldn't disclose my sources here. I can't. But believe me, I got in touch with some neutral sources. The information I'm giving, it's totally correct. Someone is saying they've been preparing for war for years. Well, armies prepare for wars. Armies in all countries, they're always ready for wars. Pilots, then infantries, they're always ready for wars. That is part of their job. Because 34 minutes have passed. I think we should now end this live chat session. Thank you for joining. Thank you all of you. I tried to respond to as many questions as I could. If I could not answer some, maybe in the next chat session we'll talk about that. Lastly, viewers, I did a video a few days ago just to make you smile. Last Sunday, I think. People said, Sajid, do more of such videos. I am working on another video. Maybe on Sunday or Monday. The video will be available for you. The purpose of these videos is just to make you smile. I don't want to humiliate anyone. It's just a way of relaxing, a way of making you smile. Maybe tomorrow or on Monday you'll see the next video. Waiting for your response. I'll wait for your response about this next video. Thank you for joining. Thank you all of you. See you next Saturday. Mandafro has joined, one of my oldest viewers. Mandafro, you're late. Thank you for joining. We'll get in touch through email. See you next Saturday. Bye bye.